Hey, 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 what's up, everybody?
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Listen, we are so excited about you guys coming to be a part of another episode of Let's Conversate with Josh and Sharon, where we're just real people.
Hey, dealing with real issues.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are excited to be back with you guys one more time, dealing with these savings, dealing with our savings.
That's right.
So, Sharon, talk to these people what we're dealing with today.
Hey, today we're dealing with look for this when saving.
Look for this when saving. Look
Right.
for this when saving.
Saving.
Absolutely. It's important that we look for this. Absolutely. So listen, this show is probably not going to be, the traditional long show that we normally would do.
Okay.
Because we just want to kind of, get to the point, right? Of what we're talking about. So we're just dealing with today of, what percentages
Okay.
should we put into our savings, right?
That's right.
Now, remember, when we talk about savings, there are different forms of saving, right?
It is.
Now, we done finished up the recovery.
Yes.
Well, we're always in recovery because we're always trying to do better than the day before,
That's right. That's right.
But we done finished up paying off all our debt. We got a full funded emergency fund.
Yes.
And for somebody that might be watching this for the first time, say, hey, I haven't done any of that. But then we just strongly advise you to go back
and look at the previous videos.
Look at some of our previous videos that we deal with getting out of debt and staying out of debt and making our money work for us.
Yes.
Right?
Instead of the money working for us.
We want the money to work for us instead of us working for the money. All good. So listen, tell somebody
that
Josh and Sharon is on with another episode of Let's Conversate with Josh and Sharon. So listen, let's dig right into this thing. All right. So digging right into it, as I was stating earlier, there are multiple ways of saving, right?
It is.
There is your long-term retirement savings plan. There is short-term savings plans where you might want to save up for a particular thing or something or person that's outside of your lifelong retirement fund. In other words, your long-term savings, it should be your retirement savings for after work.
That's right.
In your later life. You know, that later person that's going to come back and tell you, thank you for when you was in your 20s, you did the right thing. Thank you for when you was in your 30s, you did the right thing. Okay, well, you might not did the right thing in your 20s. You might not did the right thing in your 30s.
Uh-huh.
But thank you when you did the right thing in your 40s.
All right.
Thank you for when you did the right thing in your 50s. In other words, it's never too late.
It's never too late
to get your financial situation on track.
Yeah.
Am I preaching to anybody?
Are you preaching this?
All right. So we're going to get this thing on track with our savings. It don't matter how old you are, there is room for you.
That's right.
There is room for you to get on track and get your finances and get your funds in shape. So today we're dealing with these percentages of what percentages should we save here, what percentages should we save there, and so on. So do you have anything on the national average savings accounts? I have something that I pulled up. Let me see if yours match up with mine.
Okay. Well, I did find something.
Now, she give that. Now we're talking about the just the traditional savings account, like with the banks or whatever the case may be. So what you got on that traditional savings account?
Okay, so what I found was what percentage of your savings should go towards savings? Meanwhile, another 50% maximum should go towards necessary, while 30% goes to discretionary items. This is called the 50, 30, and 20 rule of thumb, and provides a quick an easy way for you to budget your money.
Oh yeah, I heard of that rule before. Um,
And then also, I had at least 20% of your income should go towards your savings.
okay, okay. So I definitely heard of, the
50, 30, and 20.
yeah. So I haven't really educated myself on that particular rule. So I'll for you guys that's wanting to know about that, on a next show or so, we'll focus on that. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. But today I'm gonna particularly focus on these the percentages. I guess I want to Sharon to direct the show on why it's better to uh and make your savings money work for you versus just put it in a traditional savings account.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so the national average yielding for savings accounts in traditional banks, like your Wells Fargo, your Bank of America, your local credit unions, and things like that. Your national average, when you blend them all together, you're getting a national average. This is just the average, of everybody. This might not be their particular number, but it ain't
It's a
far.
national average.
Yeah, it's just the national average that you just lump sum it all together.
Yeah.
So national average is 0.23%. Now that don't sound like a lot when you're dealing with percentages in your savings. And let me just be frank with you, that ain't a lot. So you take 0.23%, 23%, 0.23%, however you want to look at it.
Uh-huh.
And you take that and you times that by $1,000, and there you go. There go, and there goes some interest. And do that by your 12 months or whatever the case may be. You ain't got much there.
You're right.
So, anyways, without getting myself tripped up in all the little math equations here on the show today, my point is that we need to take our savings and put them into some type of investment,
That's right.
because inflations, I feel like this is being honest. And like I said, we don't have all the answers.
No, we don't.
And we're not trying to act like we got all the answers. We're just having a conversation, right? We're just real people,
Dealing with real issues.
dealing with real issues. You know what I mean? So we're trying to figure out, as people that have a little bit of money, right?
Mhm.
We don't have a lot of money. So if we're going to invest our money and we're going to place our money and savings somewhere, it makes sense to me, and you help me out. It makes sense to me to put it somewhere where it's going to benefit me.
Yeah. Where it's gonna grow.
All right. And too often, that's why, I kind of I have changed my opinion about credit cards, because, we put all our money into buying things to get high credit scores, right?
Yes.
Because the only way you can get up there to the 750s and the 800s and the 850s or whatever it is, the only way you can get up there is you have to be a bigger spender. Right. So the more you spend, the more you climb up the credit chart. Well, that's taking your money and making your money work for somebody else with a false illusion that is working for you because you're getting a higher credit score. Now, sit back and think about that and process and chew that meat for a minute. Your money, right, should be really working for who? You. And the way your money works for you is to owe no man. Right? Am I right about
You're
it?
right.
But when you spending your time and your effort in trying to obtain almost the unattainable, because there's a very few percentage of folk that actually get to an 850 credit score rating and actually stay there, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And and if you don't have a job that brings in that kind of income, that once you attain that can keep you there, chances are you're gonna be so mounted up in debt that you ain't gonna be able to stay there long. So your money now is not working for you, but your money is now working for
someone else.
Those agencies. Yes. That's right. Your money is working for the Visas, the Masters, the Express, all them different credit card companies. Now your money is working for them, and they got you by your neck, strangling you to death. So instead of doing that, focus more on taking your savings money and not just sticking it in a traditional bank account. because these bank accounts, like I said, they're only yielding, 0.23%. But in other words, I would take that money and invest it into a retirement, investment account,
Investment account.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, who has good ones? You got Fidelity, and different ones that's out there that has good retirement, investment accounts.
Yeah.
Also, you need to find. This is what we do. I'm not suggesting. I'm not. Let me just set the record straight. We're not putting stuff out there and telling you what to do as if we done went to school and we got all these degrees and none of that. We only talk from our own experience and
Experience.
as we're
Yes.
going through it.
That's correct.
And we finding what helps us.
That's right.
And we're trying to share it
With
with
others.
others to, hey, this is working for us. Maybe it can work for you. Right. And we ain't trying to have all the answers, because you might chime in and say, well, I found this to work better than what you're talking about. And then we'll look into that. And then we'll compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges at that point. Right.
Right.
Excuse me. So, you know, find what works for you in investing. Find that sweet spot that you can take your money out your closet, out your shoe boxes, and all that stuff like that, because inflation is killing it. That same $1,000 that you put up, a year ago, isn't worth what it was then now, because inflation's done went up. So that same $1,000 that you put up, that might have been worth, you know, um, let's see, might have been worth a high end blending machine.
Okay.
Of course, I'm not going to pay $1,000 for no blending machine, but say it will pay for something, high end, and you put it up for a year and say, let me see what I can use. Okay, let's just use a jacket. All right, no, that's too much. I don't know for the jacket. What can we do? Oh, wait, a ring. Okay, promise ring. Let's do that. All right, so let's get a promise ring. All right, that costs you. When you first put your $1,000, that promise ring might cost you $850.
Okay.
Here it comes a year later, right? You put that $1,000 up. Okay, I don't got this $1,000 up. I'm gonna get this promise ring for this $850, right? So then, boom, a year come by, you decide to go get it. That same $850 ring might now cost you $990.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
So that $1,000 could have worked for you and saved you, from $850. So you could have had $150 savings.
Oh, that's right.
Am I right or wrong?
You're
Did I
right.
do the math right?
You're definitely
850
right.
plus 50 is 9 and plus 110,
Mhm.
right? But now it's costing you $990. So where you could have saved, right, $150, now your savings is only $10
Mm.
because inflation took it up. So
That's
that
right.
$1,000 what it was worth when you first stored it in your little cubby is not worth that a year
Anymore.
later,
Yeah.
because inflation took it up. So now your money value have decreased. But if you putting it in, this is the same thing to me, in my opinion, if you putting it in a traditional savings account, because the yield is so low, right?
Thank you.
You're not gain,
Not gonna gain.
you're not gaining anything.
You're not.
I remember when I started a savings account with my credit union for my daughter. Faithfully, every month, I believe it was, I was putting $100. I started out putting $50. I think I started it out with like a $500, no, $100. So I started a savings account for my daughter for $100, and then I moved from there within a year's time, about 6 month period. No, no, no. I started with $100, and immediately I started saving $50 a month
Yes.
on her account. And then after about 6 months' time, I decided to change it to $100.
That's
I
correct.
said 50 first, right?
That's correct.
All right. So I decided to change it to $100 in my savings account now, my regular savings account at my bank. For 2 years, was it about 2 years?
2 years.
2 years faithfully, um, $100 a month. So the first 6 months was $50 a month, and then a year, another year and a half, which adds up to 2 years, was $100 a month.
Mhm.
When I looked after 2 years, the yield from my savings, from my savings account at my bank. Now, at then, I didn't know the numbers like I should, and I still don't know the numbers like I could now. As like I said, we're learning, but I know enough, and I ain't that foolish to know that what $18 or 20 something dollars
Yeah.
in 2
In 2
years,
years. Yeah.
$50 a month for the first 6 months, and then $100 a month thereon for 2 years, and all this account gain was less than $20.
Yep.
That was unacceptable for me, and it should be unacceptable for you too. You know. So what my point is? My point is educate ourselves, right?
Yes.
Me and Sharon don't know everything. We learn this stuff as we go, but we sharing it with you all as we go, so we all can get smarter together, right? So why continue to just take our money, knowing that inflation is killing it, right?
Yes.
Knowing that it's losing value,
Mhm.
right? And putting it in a traditional bank account, uh, or credit union account, or in your magic drawer, and letting it just sit, and the money's not working for you. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, elderly, and super old, make your money work
For
for
you.
you. I'm serious. We'll come right back to this on the other side of Miss Katrina. This is good.
Thank you for tuning in to today's podcast with Let's Conversate with Josh and Sharon. They truly appreciate your support. Thank you for following them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, subscribing to their YouTube channel. If you would like to make a contribution towards the podcast to further its reach, please feel free to do so with Cashapp $ Let's Conversate. Again, thank you for watching Let's Conversate with Josh and Sharon. Back to today's podcast.
All right, so this here thing is good. So it's definitely important uh to distinguish where we're going to put our money to work, because let's face it, what you got. I mean, because by these savings accounts. So
Okay. Yes. You can earn interest by putting money in a savings account, but savings accounts generally earn a lower return than investments.
yeah, so that's just what we're talking about. You know what I mean? These savings accounts. Then she was talking about the traditional savings accounts in your bank account, or whatever the case may be, your bank and your local credit union. You might earn interest, but I just gave you a whole scenario, right? Of what happened with my daughter's account. Oh yeah, it earned, it brought back a yield, but it was so
It
low
was a low.
that it didn't matter with anything. You get what I'm saying? It was just that low. So I would rather just, what I mean, get out of putting my money in traditional savings accounts. Get out of just throwing all your money into your secret closets or
Or
whatever the
shoe
case may be.
boxes.
Yeah. I mean, now you got emergency fund that now don't get me wrong, I'm a believer that everybody should have a little emergency fund put up somewhere, that if that what I call life happens fund.
It is.
You need to have that life happens fund available, ready to go. You know what I mean? So you don't want to. I'm not. I'm just gonna say. I ain't gonna say you don't. I'm gonna talk about me. I'm not finna just take every dime I got and tie it up into, you know, um, these accounts and these investments or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna have something. I'm gonna have grandma's shoebox. I'm telling you, because
Yeah.
these
But
systems.
that's for the emergency funds.
Absolutely. But these systems and stuff, man, they can go down into all this stuff is man made, you know what I mean? So I ain't
It's always good to have money on deck.
I'm just being real with y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all, I ain't trying to sound like I'm so by the book now, but I'm just, sharing what works for us to, help us become all things wealth, So I break these rules every now and then if I feel like it's in my best interest. You got to do what's in your best interest at the end of the day. So this is just what we're doing to try to, build up our accounts and our funds, but you know what I mean? So it works. These methods works. Dave Ramsey plan, that stuff works.
It works.
You
It
know what I
definitely
mean?
works.
And he might get a little chewy with me because I get off the train track sometime, and that just me out, shoot. You know what I mean? Listen, I'll take a shortcut if I can. But sometimes a lot of times shortcuts and trying to, have your own thing going, you know what I mean, outside of and he's big on telling you, don't change my plan. But he has his plan and I'm going with, what God plans me, plan is for me. And then different ones I take, different things from them that I feel like can help, me along the way. So I'm
Yes,
not just so,
I agree.
gun hold on one person's plan and I'm just gonna just run their plan to the T. Now, I'm gonna do it the way God say do it. But at the end of the day, God give us these people that has become successful at what we're trying to do to look to for some guidance.
That's right.
So there's nothing wrong with looking at somebody that's successful at where you're trying to go for some guidance. And I think that's a lot of our problem. We kind of tend to uh, get powerful,
Mhm.
and nobody can't tell us nothing. And then nobody ain't been able to tell us nothing all of our adult lives, and that's why we're still in this situation that we're in. And then many people think they know it all and got it all down pat and still have not become financially stable
Stable.
yet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I understand.
So this stuff works. I,
It
I,
does.
I, I, it took me a long time to
We're
realize.
living it out.
Absolutely, it took me a long time to realize and to come to grips to understand that just dropping my money in these bank account, savings account ain't doing me no good, and it ain't doing you no good either. Investigate it. It's, I'm saving up for rainy day, I'm saving up. But yeah, you can save a lot quicker when your money is working for you.
Yeah.
You know how much faster you can save when you find the right, high yield, funds, mutual funds to invest in, invested into dividend accounts, something that's going to pay back dividends and stuff like that when you're investing. I love those accounts that pay back dividends. I like to see a little return coming back in there. And then with your retirement, find the right mutual funds. I can't suggest none of that stuff to you because we're learning it on the fly ourselves. So all I'll tell you to do is to find what works for you.
That's right.
See what get on YouTube, search it out. You on here now watching us. Thank you. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and the bell notification. Right. Yeah. Smash that bell notification. Smash that one. That, that, that one right there. Smash it. Because we need your likes, we need your comments, we need your support, we need you to weigh in and help us and make sure that we're on the right track as we share things that we're experiencing with you guys. So we don't get it right all the time, but we're gonna keep on with the keeping on. All right. So listen, let's get this here. Don't forget to pray moment in because we don't never want to forget to pray, you guys. You know what I mean? So let's get at it. Hey, it's another segment that we added to the show. It's your Don't Forget to Pray moment. We got Sharon over here. Tell them why they don't need to forget to pray.
Yes, today's Don't Forget to Pray moment is brought to you by All Things Wealth. Don't forget to pray your way through your day. I want to give you a scripture today. It's 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through the 18th verse. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstance, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Don't forget to pray your way through your day. Now back to today's podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely. We don't want to forget to pray. Listen, when we're dealing with these savings and where our savings should go and how our savings should work for us, hey, we always should put God first and let Him be our guide and let Him be our leader into what we're doing. So yeah, awesome. Don't forget to pray moment. Absolutely. So listen. So back to the topic at hand. You know, these traditional savings accounts. I'm just, over them. I'm serious. I'm over them. And I want my money to work for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there's got to be a better way to listen. Think about this. All right, you've been doing it this particular way all your adult life, ever since you've been old enough to know how to uh, open a bank account,
Mhm.
start a checking account, open up a savings account, because that's naturally what we do, right?
That's right.
We open bank accounts. We say, well, I want to get a checking account. I want a savings account, and then we take, 15% or 20%, whatever the percentage was that Sharon had gave us of our income, and we trying to drop it faithfully into that savings account.
Yes.
And a lot of us, we use a savings account for the wrong reasons, and we don't make the money work for us. So we put our money in our savings account and we just say we're saving, and that's just one big savings account. So everything else going towards bills, and we're trying to live off of, and then we want to have a savings account, and we use that savings account, that traditional savings account, for all the wrong reasons. We use it for our emergency funds. We use it for buying vehicles. We use it for uh, things that we want. We use it for college. We use it for all, and that's all the wrong reasons, right? And then on top of that, the traditional savings account is not yielding anything, and it's not keeping up with what you're putting in it. It's not keeping up with the inflations. You're losing, in my opinion. You're losing. Instead, categorize everything, make everything work, right?
Make it work.
You got your retirement investments, put it there. You got your high yielding, returns accounts, what is dividend accounts, or some type of mutual funds, or whatever the case may be, put it there, because this stuff is going to bring you better returns. You got your short-term savings, you got your long-term savings, you got saving up for a car. You save with a purpose.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Save with a purpose.
Right. So you don't just go into one account that you call a savings account, that's labeled savings account at your bank or your credit union, and you just pull out of that account for whatever you need. No, you're hurting yourself. You know what I mean? And that savings account never grow. It always get to. You ever find it like that? Your savings account always get to a certain point, and it can't never get past that point, because by the
You
time,
always got to pull out.
yeah, you know what I mean. You always in there, and you got to nip at it. You know what I mean. You penny pincher. I'm telling you.
That's true.
But if you strategize, right? If you strategize and you set purpose, in your life for your funds and for your account, when you set purpose, I think that you will find yourself being able to manage better
You will.
at this point.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you should be, you're out of debt, right? You don't paid off all your debt. You don't owe nobody. At this point, you got a full funded 3 to 6 months emergency fund. So you're in a position now that you're looking to save. And we got to get out of that mindset of, I'm going to just put it in my savings account and save it up for when I need it, and then we drain our savings account for one particular thing. No, that's not how it's supposed to go. It's really not. You're supposed to categorize that thing. And this is my retirement. All right. This percentage right here is for, a car that I might need. This percentage right here for car maintenance. This is percentage for this. This is it. And this, that, and this. And then when you do that, you'll find yourself having, be honest with you, less emergencies, or what you call emergencies. Because when you're just putting all your money in that one account, right, then everything becomes an emergency.
You're right.
Right? So you're just dipping in that account for everything and anything. But when you make it work for you, and when you sit down and take a moment, right, out of your life, if your funds and your money is important, I think if you done gotten this far with paying off all your debt, and I think you done gotten this far with a full fund emergency fund, and I think that it really matters to you.
It does.
Right. So I'm assuming that it really matters to you. So I'm assuming that what we're doing and we're sharing that we're actually doing will help you. If it can help you, it can. If you got a better way, let us know. But, you know, taking your savings and categorizing it, sit down, write that thing out. How you gonna do it? Get a game plan, write the vision, make it plain.
Yeah.
Get a game plan and attack it. Attack it. And just like we're gonna keep attacking this here on the other side of these shout outs. All right, it's time for these shout outs once again. Listen, if you're in the Orlando area, New Chief Cornerstone, they are located at 820 South Park Avenue, Winter Garden, Florida, under the leadership of Dr. Clarita M. James and Pastor Norman James. If you're in that Orlando area and you need a church to attend, stop in. Tell them Josh and Sharon sent you. Also, Christ the Redeemer Ministry, 4721 East Moody Boulevard, Palm Coast, Florida, under the leadership of Apostle Robert and Betty Davenport. Listen, stop in. If you're in the Palm Coast area, see Pastor Davenport. Listen, if you want to church here in Tennessee, the Church of Churches, yes, that is none other than New Hope Church of God in Christ, 303 South University Street, under the leadership of Pastor Anthony and Lady Graham. This is a Church of Churches where you can clap your hands, stomp your feet. Come on to New Hope. Yes, New Hope. Also, we want to just thank everybody that supports us, that always show love to this podcast. We thank you wherever you are. It means the world to us. So keep liking, subscribing, and sharing. All right. All right, you guys. So we thank you for those shout outs. So listen, you guys, I owe you all an apology because I did promise at the beginning that this was not going to be that long. But you know, when you go to dealing with your money, Sharon, and you go to talking about, you know, this thing get good, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
You gotta let it all out.
yeah, and I think that people at this stage, when they done paid off all their emergency funds, emergency funds, when they done paid off all their debt and done saved up their 3 to 6 months of emergency funds,
Yeah.
I think that people don't mind when you go over a little bit, you know what I mean? Because, you know, especially when you're being informational, right? When you're talking about something that makes sense. And like, listen, we hope that something that we said today that made sense. We don't have all the answers.
No, we don't.
And we ain't trying to act like we got all the answers.
Nope.
But listen, I'm going to try to hold to my promise. So I'm going to cut it short. It's good. But we're going to come back and we're going to drive this a little bit more. We're going to continue with these savings for a little bit more because, you guys, we're just tired of being tired. Sick and tired. And it's time for us to do something about it. Right?
Now is the time.
Now is the time.
Now is the time.
Absolutely, to do something about it. Hey, we're going to get out of debt, stay out of debt. We're going to have a 3 to 6 month
emergency fund,
fully funded emergency fund. And then we're going to invest.
Investment plan.
Absolutely. And make our money
work for us.
We got to make it work for us, you guys. So listen, until next time, tell somebody when Josh and Sharon is on with another episode of Let's Conversate with Josh and Sharon. But we got to get up out of here, you guys. We done been here too long. So it's time to go. So we hope that something that we said will fall on good ground and that you'll be able to take it and use it in your life. Until next time, deuces.
Bye.